Hi, this is Dr. Pan, and I'm going to talk a little bit about descriptive statistics today, especially as it relates to assignment number 2. For assignment number 2, you have to set up a database, and so I think the first part here that I'll go over is setting up the database in SPSS. It's pretty easy, actually. You just open up your file, open data, and you get a database file. You just need to name it so you can save it as, and you go ahead and type some data in it, and then you can save it as something. Once you get some data in, save it on your desktop, save it somewhere in the appropriate file. First thing you need to do, though, is to actually set up some variables. And for our first assignment, I think we have 2 different variables that we set up. Let's see, let me sneak a peek there. One was called salary. Type that here. And we can say salary at 2 decimal places, right? And we could write in the label exactly how we want it to look. Title caps. And salary is a scale variable. And then we have some kind of, I think, state variable. State. That's not numeric, that's going to be string variable because it's just, it could be Florida. I think we used A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but Florida, Georgia, those are string because those are different, just for words, right? So we use string. And state there. And nominal, it selects nominal automatically, and that's fine. And then what you can do is switch to data view, switching back and forth, variable view, data view. And in data view, you can just go ahead and start to enter. The average salary is $130,000 in Florida, which is absolutely ludicrous, but it's anyway. So you can just go through that, and you can type in. Each row is a state in this case, or is an individual, is a case. We call it in this case a state. So maybe 120,000 in Georgia. These are totally unrealistic. Probably the mean is more like 45,000 or 30,000, something like that. But anyway, you get the idea. All right. So once we have that all set up, it will look something like this. In the background is my picture, a picture I took from Colorado recently from a trip, a lake that we hiked to. So you can see part of that in the background in case you're wondering. So we have all the different salaries, average salaries here. And so how do you get some kind of picture of the salary? Like how do you get a sense of what what you have here? How do you summarize it in some way? Well, if you have a continuous variable such as salary here, you would want to get a picture of the values you have in your data set by running some basic descriptive statistics, looking specifically at mean, standard deviation. You might look at mode and median and range and those kind of things. So, well, let's go ahead and do that. You can write the syntax, or you can pull down the this graphical user interface here. Right? So descriptive statistics, descriptives, and then you select the variable as we always do here, and then you can select specifically what you'd like. And so here we have mean, standard deviation, min, max, and you can go ahead and run it. It puts it right into the output file, so pretty straightforward. Okay, and here we go. So for salary, we can see that we have 50 states. The minimum was 25,000 about, maximum 50,000, mean, and the standard deviation. Now there's some other fancy stuff that you can do as well. And you can go here under frequencies, go to stats, and you can do mean, mode. We can look at the all kinds of neat stuff here. Standard deviation, the min, the max. Get the range if you'd like. And under charts, you can also compute a histogram and show what the normal, kind of like the normal curve would look like, imposed on your data, superimposed on your data. So it'll generate this as well. We slid across, you saw at the beginning there, salary, so you have, that's the variable that's selected. You could do multiple variables if we had multiple continuous variables. And so you go ahead and run that, and you see anytime you run, using the pull-down menus, anytime you run a procedure, it shows you, like right here, you can see the syntax that was automatically generated. So you could actually just copy and paste this in the future and use this. Save the syntax file, and then rerun it. So here, you can see the output, and you can copy and paste these tables into Excel or into a Word doc or whatever you'd like. You see the mean, the median, and the mode. Pretty cool. You can see the median. The mean is a little bit higher than the median, and the mode is, which is the one that sort of occurred the most often, the value that occurred most often, most frequently, was lower than those two. In addition, we see the dispersion, you can see the range, the standard deviation, provides an indication of how the scores are distributed around the mean, the minimum and maximum score, and then it also provides you with a table showing the frequency for each value. Now, you're probably just going to have each value one time, just because the nature of these values here, they're not they're continuous. So, all right, so here we go. We have histogram, and this provides you with a visual representation of the data, showing you sort of the distribution and how the data sits. And you can see also that it provides you with, it's nice because you can, again, you can copy and paste it into a Word file, into a report that you're generating, and you can decide, you can get rid of some of the headings, you can change the you can change the information that's provided to you in the upper right hand side. You could delete it. You can modify the fonts so that they match up with the fonts for a report that you have or something like that. So this is the basic how to generate and look at some data. This is what we would do. Now the first step with most data, with most files, before we'd run any other types of statistics, looking at real quick the descriptives and seeing what the data looks like. All right, so thanks a lot for joining me, and if you have any questions, you can post a comment.